Maruti Suzuki, the country's largest car maker, has just launched the top of its line vehicle Invicto, the MPV, at a price point of 25 to 30 lakh rupees. What does this vehicle really mean for the company? Who is it targeted at? And what's the strategy behind introducing a premium vehicle from a small car specialist? To talk about that and more, we have with us Mr. Shashank Srivastava, Senior Executive Officer for Sales and Marketing at Maruti Suzuki. Thank you very much, Mr. Srivastava, for talking to Autocar.
Thank you.
Help us understand. I mean, this is a 25 to 30 lakh rupees price point SUV, MPV, something that we've not seen from Maruti Suzuki ever. What's the intent, who the buyer is, and is it growing in line with where the market is moving?
Yes, you are right that this is the first time ever that Maruti Suzuki has introduced a product that is priced 20 lakh and above. The idea is twofold. One is we have observed in the past few years that the market has shifted in price terms to a higher bracket. And I'll give you some statistics of why we think so. And it's still not very large. Actually, the greater than 20 lakh price bracket segment last year was about 5% or 6%. This quarter, though, it has been about 8%. So it's growing. It's still not very large, but it's enough for manufacturers to take an active interest in it. And we being the market leaders with an objective to get to the 50% market share in the medium term, we need to be present and take advantage of any volumes that may emerge across any segment. And therefore, the move in this segment was necessary. You may argue that, for the volumes that we have, this volume is very small, and you will be right. But it has got the other effect, which was also the second objective for introducing the Invicto, which is that the premiumization of the brand Nexa and Maruti Suzuki consequently also has a very positive rub-off on the brands which come under the Maruti Suzuki and Nexa umbrella brand.
Right.
And therefore, the objective is twin: participation in volumes which may increase in future, and of course brand. And when it comes to, and I said I'll give you the statistics of why how it has shifted, how it has shifted. See, if you look at the less than 10 lakh price bracket, then the segment used to go about 85% just 3.5 years back. It is now 58%.
Wow,
that has come down.
Significant shift.
The 10 to 20 and the above 10 lakh category, which was just around 15-16% a few years back, it is now about 44, 40, 43, 44%.
Wow.
So obviously it's growing in this direction for many reasons. One, of course, the preference, consumer preference towards more technology, features, state-of-the-art design. These are all shifting the price points up. And of course, commodity prices have risen the last 2.5 years, which has made OEMs increase prices. And third, regulatory stringency and road taxes, they've also gone up dramatically. So the price points naturally have been moving up, and the consumer preference, because of the psychographics changing from functionality to aspiration, has also sort of pushed the market in that direction. Maruti Suzuki, people say, you mentioned in your introductory talk that we are known for a small car or a low-priced vehicles. Actually, that is no longer true. While it is true that in the less than 10 lakh price category,
we have a lion's share.
We have a 60% market share,
wow,
and it's increased and increasing. Whereas what is not known to many
would love to hear that.
many people is that in the 10 to 20 lakh rupee category also, Maruti Suzuki has become the market leader.
Wow, when did that happen, sir?
It happened last year, and in this quarter actually the share has increased further. So we are now the market leader in the 10 to 20 lakh rupee category.
So it's like 95% of the market in a way.
Yes, it's 10 to 20 lakh, yeah, it's almost like now about 93-95% of the market. And so the natural progression is that let us try also into the in the greater than 20 lakh and see if we can make a big impression there as well.
Fantastic. Now, but the average price point of Maruti Suzuki, while you enlightened us with growing market share, the average price of Maruti Suzuki is still at around 10 to 12 lakh or much lesser?
Slightly less than that.
Slightly less than.
Yeah.
And what you are targeting with the Invicto, the price points are significantly higher. Could that have been some stepping stone along the way? Yes, we have the Grand Vitara there.
Yeah. So there are many actually. So it is the fact that 53% of our sales still hatches, and that pulls the averages down. But if you look at the entire spectrum of prices, then we have products in across all product category, all price points. Starting, the Brezza starts from around this 8 lakh to goes up to the 11, 12 lakh. Then you have the Ertiga, which goes up to 13, 14 lakh. XL6, which goes up to 15 lakh. The Jimny, which starts at 12 and a half and goes up to 17. Then you have the Vitara from 15 and a half, 15 to 20
lakhs.
Yeah, almost. So we have actually XL6 similar. So we have price points across the spectrum.
So you proliferated.
But because
that
you say look at the average prices and you say, oh, the average price is less than 10 lakh. So therefore, that 25 lakh is real high.
Out of reach.
But actually, it is a.
You've created many stepping stones along the way.
Exactly.
Who exactly is the buyer of Invicto according to you, and how differently are you approaching this? Because it's a completely new segment, and in the past, Maruti Suzuki has attempted some top-of-the-line models like Kizashi. I mean, there was a small aberration there. Help me understand as to how differently are you approaching?
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned Kizashi because that was a product we introduced sometime in 2010. It didn't really do very well, and we discontinued it after one of the very few products Maruti has discontinued without it being a success for a long time. Now, the Kizashi was a vehicle which was imported. In India, the new car, the duty, customs duty on new car is very steep. Actually, the effective duty is above 100%.
Right.
So the Kizashi, which should have been priced at around 8-9 lakhs, if it was produced in India, was priced around 18-19 lakhs.
Correct.
Now it competed with products like the Accord.
Right.
The Accord was produced in India,
right.
And I remember at that time it was about 12 and a half lakhs or so, and obviously they offered greater value. So that situation doesn't exist today,
right?
Because this product, the Invicto, is produced here in India.
Locally manufactured.
Yeah, it's locally manufactured. So the value equation will be different from what Kizashi faced with its rivals like the Honda Accord.
Right.
So that I think should not be taken as a better. I would say a better.
Parallel or example.
A parallel example in the sense of a counter example is the recent, as I said, the Maruti Suzuki is the market leader in the 10 to 20 lakh.
Right.
So you don't have to go back 15 years to find that
hard yards.
Yeah. So to find that one product, whereas you can find many products which have made us a success between 10 to 20
So that gives
lakh.
you the confidence that.
Exactly. And you asked me who will this type of customer?
The buyers.
Well, the buyer, we have done a lot of research on this, and we have found that this is actually a common type of buyer between 3-row premium SUV and 3-row MPV. The cross consideration between the premium SUV and the premium 3-row MPV is roughly 58-59% according. That's a very high cross consideration to the extent that you can actually say that this is one segment.
Correct.
So the 3-row premium SUV MPV segment is actually total is about 2,58,000.
That's a large catchment area.
Yeah, but the premium, which is above 20 lakh, is less. It's about 115,000 or so last year. Expected to grow, of course, this year, and there is also a large percentage which is diesel. And there you compete with many models like the Innova, the High Cross, the Hector Plus, the Scorpio N, the Carnival, and of course Carnival is not there at the moment, but the other models like the Safari and the Alcazar. So there are about 7 such models. And the buyer is basically, if you look at the demographics, it's between 35 to 45 years of age, so fairly youngish, small family also, but also some of them, a significant percent of them who travel together with larger families, joint family, or go out with friends. The MHI, the monthly household income, is more than 150,000, which is significant because the average for the industry is about 84,000. So 150,000 plus is for this segment. And so he's definitely the richer guy.
Right.
And also in terms of the type of buying, it is largely an additional car buying. It's about 62% is additional car buying. And
so
about
the
23
first-time buyer percentage is lesser in this space?
Yes, so 24% is exchange buying. So almost like 87-90% is covered by people. So these are experienced buyers. They already own a car. So either they are replacing it or they are adding to their fleet. Yes, so this is the sort of buyer which is there. And of course, there are other type of buyers as well, but this forms the bulk of the buyer.
So the next target, 20 to 30 lakh leadership as well. I mean, you've achieved 10 to 20 as well, which came as a surprise to me because the portfolio just got filled last year. So is that the next target? And some also say that this is also kind of preparing the ground for a larger SUV in the space for Maruti Suzuki, which is a big gap between Grand Vitara and what you offer right now?
So of course I will not be able to comment on the future specifics of the future product strategy, except that I'll say that Maruti Suzuki has always been aggressive in terms of introduction of new product. In fact, in the last 4 or 5 months we have introduced 4 new products. So that's quite a pace. We are bullish about the future of Indian auto industry, and that's the reason why we have always been introducing products regularly, and we will continue to do that in the future as well.
Leadership in 20 to 30 lakh, is that something that is an aspiration to go for?
Yeah, so let's see how it goes, because we have so far garnered about 6,200 bookings in the Invicto, but we'll have to see how much of how quickly we can fulfill this demand, because it's important that you fulfill the demand quickly and then you keep adding to the volumes, and that's how it is. So we'll have to wait and see on that leadership in 20 to 30 lakh. It will surely call for some larger supplies of the Invicto, as also as the market grows bigger, more products in this category.
Just 2 more things. You had already come out with the ambitious target of wanting to be number 1 in the SUV space. You already are almost close there in the first 3 months. And also Nexa, which is where Invicto is going to be sold. You also want Nexa to be probably amongst the top 2, top 3. So where are you in the journey, and how is the market supporting you in that transition?
Yeah, so reasonably good progress, I would say. Although we have been constrained with production issues thanks to the semiconductor component supplies in some of our products like the Vitara, the Fronx, Jimny, and even the Brezza. But despite that, I think we are seeing some very positive results. Q1 of last year, the market share was just 8.5%. Q2 of last year was about 10.4%, so it grew a little bit because of in the last September we introduced the Vitara. Yeah, that's right. Then in Q3 it went up further to about 14 odd %, and in Q4 it was about 16.5%. So there was a regular growth, constant growth, and in April it was about 18%. In May it was 20%. In June it was 21 point some %. So there seems to be a good increase and very quick. Overall last year was 12.5, but now it is 21 in June. We are very close behind Mahindra. We have got to the number 2 position. Remember, our position last year was number 4.
Yeah.
And in Q1 it was number 5.
Right.
But we have grown to number 2 in this quarter. In this quarter, Mahindra sold about 100,000 SUVs and we sold about 93,000. But in the month of June, it was like real close. We sold about 32,200. Mahindra was at 32,500. So it was like quite close, and with increased production, hopefully with better marketing, we are on our way to become the number 1 SUV manufacturer. And talking of Nexa,
yeah.
Next, actually, we are number 2 in 6 of the states already,
Already, wow.
including Delhi and NCR. So that's a very good progress, I would say, because the lay of the market is like that.
Yeah.
The segment-wise car penetration is different in the larger cities. But we have, and we are number 3 in about 3-4 states. So overall, yes, our objective is to get to the number 2 position in Nexa. And there is a number 3 we are eyeing as well, which you are probably not aware. Which is the True Value. We want that brand to be the 3rd largest brand. It was the 4th largest last year.
Wow. So this year you expect it to happen this year itself?
The True Value, yes, we are hoping that the used car, the True Value brand becomes the 3rd largest. In that sense, we would like it. It's an ideal sort of this thing. But then you need to have some of these largish targets if you want to really push your team and yourself to try to go forward. It's very easy for you to be market leader, and then you try to take it easy,
right.
Become complacent, and that's the time when you sort of lose market. So we don't want that to happen. We want to keep taking some big hairy goals and try to
big
achieve
hairy
them.
Audacious goals.
Yes.
BHAG as they call it.
BHAG.
Just lastly, sir, how's the market looking? June we're back to single-digit growth. The base is catching up. As we run into the festive season, what are your expectations? You have a strong portfolio on your hands, so definitely we're going to see strong momentum from Maruti. But how is the market breadth looking like? What's the kind of anticipation do you have as we run into the festive season?
So we haven't really modified our guidance at the beginning of the year that we gave, which is a 5 to 7% growth for the industry, of 40.5 to 41 lakh sort of volumes. We have had the best ever April, the best ever May, the best ever June, therefore the best ever quarter. Jan to June has been 2 million, which is only the first time ever in the history.
Right.
But the growth, so you may continue to see high volumes, but the growth itself will correct because of the base effect. In fact, July last year was 343,000. Or to have growths above this, I think the initial estimates in July seem to be in that 346,000
It's going to be
range.
flattish.
Of course, it's going to be flattish, but then it would still be the best ever
July.
And last year, quarter 2 was 1,020,000 or so.
Wow.
That was the highest ever quarter in the history of passenger vehicles in India. And that was only it was actually the first time that you crossed a million. So 1020 remains the largest quarter ever in our history, and therefore to have a growth above that might be tough, but numbers would be probably
But red
good.
flags there? Any red flags as we run into festive season?
Yes, so we have, as before, we have flagged 2 reds, which is one is the continued high interest rates, because 80% of the auto retails happen through finance. So the rates continue to be high. The inflation seems to have been a bit more stickier than what was earlier thought. So that is a cause of concern on the retail financing terms. And on the other hand, we also know that there is an El Nino effect. So the monsoon in some parts of the country, like the east, the south, and partly the southwest, has not been really good, have been deficient. But overall, it seems to be okay, especially in the sub-Himalayan terrains. But we have to keep watching the situation, because that can have a larger impact going forward on the overall economy.
So the momentum is positive. However, there are some red flags that one needs to look for.
Yes.
But yet it's going to be another record year for the industry.
Correct, in volume terms, but in growth terms, you can expect some
kind of correction.
Some correction, and it's likely to be muted.
Fantastic, sir. Wish you all the best, and
Thank you
congratulations on a fantastic launch of Invicto.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.